folks, and welcome to this episode of Michael's Backyard Marina. Today I'm going to be working on a swim platform. I'm pretty sure it's made out of teak. It's off of a MasterCraft. It's been weathered quite a bit. I was asked if I could refinish it for this individual, it's a friend of mine, and I told him I would give it a try. I've never done it before, but like all things, you don't know if you can't do it until you try it and fail. I'm not going to fail. This should turn out beautiful. Let's get started, and let me show you what we got to start with. Now, as you can see here, we've got the swim platform. It's got a lot of sun fade going on in it. There's virtually, looks like no finish left on it. My guess is they used maybe a teak oil finish or something like that. That's what I'm going to do. But it's something you probably should do semi-regular, at least every year. I'm going to go ahead and take the hardware off. And basically, there's some 5 stainless bolts here I'm going to take out, drop the hardware off of it. I believe these 2 pieces will come apart, and I can work on them individually and put it back together and make it look really nice. So let's get this thing looking like new again. I'm going to start off with some 80 grit sandpaper on my little palm sander here, and we're going to work this thing over and bring it back to smooth and clean, and then we'll treat it with some teak oil finish. So far in this video, there's been a lot of time lapse just to show you the progress of this going from a nasty old sun-bleached teak swim platform to something that's going to look what I'd call elegant and beautiful again. I did a little test piece here. This is the piece that goes back here. I took it apart because I wanted to make sure I get it cleaned up between the slats here on this particular top edge. But I want to see if I can show you some detail here on why you want to do a little test piece. With that little white streak right there, and there's some more down in here, these deeper grooves. I don't know if that camera's picking up on that very well, but you see some traces of white still in there. And I'm not sure if that's from the old finish left. This thing was pretty grooved, and this had some deep, I don't know, grains. Wood grain in it from being weathered and being sun bleached and everything in between. So I used the 80 grit sandpaper. Started off with my little jitterbug sandpaper, or jitterbug sander, palm sander if you call it, if you will. And that wasn't being aggressive enough. So then you saw I switched to a belt sander, and I'm using an 80 grit sanding belt on my belt sander in order to take this surface down and get rid of those grooves and clean it up. And then I took an old belt here, folded it, had to go in here and get that groove, because then it looked really nasty because it was still black, and that black and white bleach stuff down here in the grooves. Now I've got that cleaned up. You can still see I've got a sanding disc coming so I can get the bottom of this real well and get it cleaned up as well. So my next step is I'm going to hit this whole thing now with 80 grit with my palm sander again, because I do have some lines that kind of go against the grain. I want to get those knocked down so it looks nice. And then I want to take this piece. Obviously I need to take it down a little bit more to get rid of these white marks on here so it all looks uniform and the same. Once I get that completed and sanded, I'll be ready to put a finish on it. I'll show you what I'm going to use to put the finish on with. So what I have here is some Helmsman's by Minwax. Indoor outdoor is teak oil. Superior protection for dense woods. Blocks moisture and UV rays. Penetrates into wood pores. And it says great for teak, mahogany, and rosewood. And that's what this is. This is teak. I'm going to put this on here. It says to put it on there in several layers. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow the directions of what it tells me to do. This right now has one layer. And as you can see, it's soaked in really well. This is dry right now. But what I want to do is I got to sand it some more, get rid of these white marks. But we're going to put several coats on this because I want this thing to get really soaked up with this teak oil. I want it to get superior protection for the long haul, and we'll see how long it lasts. My buddy of mine that has this, his boat at the slip has a southern exposure with this sitting out in the sun a generous amount, and last summer did most of the damage that you saw here. And so this year we're trying to do a little more protection here. He's also going to try to cover it a little more, but I'm curious after a year's time how well this will hold up and how well this product will hold up to the rigors of being out on the water every weekend and being out in the sun. So time will tell. But anyway, I did a little research and that's what I found out that I want to finish this with. And I think it's going to turn out well. I think it's going to look really, really nice when it's done. We've got this surface here really smooth now. It just needs a little more finish sanding and then we'll put the actual finish on it. So without further ado, let's get back to sanding and let's get back to making this thing look gorgeous. Well, I'm pretty satisfied with the condition I have this finish in right now. I'm going to get, I got some disc pads coming to clean up these pockets yet. Those should be here tomorrow. But the rest of it looks pretty nice. It's funny when you shop back and you think you got all the dust off and you run your hands across it, there's still a lot of dust there. So that's why you want to use a tack cloth. That's what I'll be doing here is I'll take a tack cloth and I'll rub this thing all down to get all this loose dust off of here before I apply the finish. But this thing is turning out absolutely great so far. I'm really pleased with it. As you saw, I sanded this some more and got rid of the white streaks that were left in this wood. Virtually, there's no white streaks left in this wood at all. This is going to just come up real nice when I put the finish on it. So once I get the disc and get this cleaned out, we'll be ready to start to put the finish on it. We'll be back when that material arrives and I can finish that off. So stay tuned. Be back in a second. Now before I go and put the teak oil on it, I'm going to take a tack cloth and give it one good rub down here just to pick up any other loose debris that the air hose didn't blow free. So we get a nice smooth lay down on this teak oil. And I'm going to start on the top side, put a layer down, and then I'll work the back side. This is going to turn out beautiful. Look at, you can see how much it picked up. Even though I blew it off with air. Can you see the difference there? That's how much dust was still there. That's how much it's still picking up. Let's do it some more here, see what happens. That's better. That's much better. That's why even if you blow it off, you still want to wipe it down with a tack cloth because there's so much. Look at that, it's still there. Let's get the teak oil out and get a brush out and get busy. Got the first layer or coat of tung oil put down. Looks like it's soaking in real nice. It's looking pretty good. Everything looks like it's going according to plan. We're going to let that dry for a little while. Then we'll get another coat on there. Time for the second application. We've waited 15 to 20 minutes, actually closer to 30, and it says to put second coat on. As you can see, there's dry spots where it's soaked in. It's looking pretty darn good though. Then it says after another half hour to wipe off any excess, to not leave any excess on the wood, which I thought was kind of interesting. With the top side done, it's time to flip it and do the back side. First coat on the back side, as you can see here, it looks pretty rich. It really makes the wood look really nice. So we're gonna let that dry for about 20 minutes and then we'll put a second coat on and then the back side will be complete. Now that we have the top and the bottom finished, it's time to reattach the brackets. pretty good. That turned out well. Much better looking than when it came in. I'm happy with that. Well, that completes another project here at Michael's Backyard Marina. I think the swim platform turned out gorgeous. It's got, it's neat to see the wood come to life when you put the teak oil finish on it. It's just amazing how beautiful that turned out. How you take something that's so sun bleached and so faded, and it looked like it literally looked like a 20-year-old beach house wood when I got it, but now it looks like brand new wood again. It looks absolutely beautiful. I couldn't be more happy with how it turned out. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I've never done one of these before. Leave some comments below if there's some other ideas or other ways you would have done it. Other tech tips, if you will. I appreciate any comments like that, so that if I do another one in the future, it'll turn out even better yet. So, folks, get out there and do something fun. Find yourself a project. Find yourself a purpose to get out of bed in the morning, and get out of bed and go do it. And until our next video, we'll come back. We'll have another project. I've got a special one lined up. I don't know if I've talked to you about it yet, but it's going to be a unique one. I got an idea from a guy that took a lawnmower motor and put it on top of an outboard lower unit. And he's done that with a couple of like push mower motors. I've got an idea to scale that up a bit and see if I can do one better with a little more power, a little more versatility, and I don't know. We're gonna try it. You don't know until you try. I'm gonna try it. I want to build myself a motor for a riverboat, and I'm going to show you why I'm going to do it, the reasoning behind why I'm doing what I'm going to be doing. So stay tuned for that one. It's coming up in weeks to come, and I'm in the market for like a 14-foot extra wide John boat for the river, because I want to do some river fishing, some cat fishing, some trout lining, some bank poles, some ditty poles, whatever's legal in the area that I live in. I want to try catching me some flatheads. People keep telling me that meat's the best catfish meat on planet Earth. I want to try it for myself. I want to catch them myself. Hopefully you'll be with me when I do it. Folks, get out there, have a good time. Stay safe out there. Do the best you can do every day. And get out there and have some fun. Michael, out.